All right, this video is for the young folks that want something and want the most out of their life in the future. For those young people who have the time to change your life, and so when you get a job, make sure you know that you've gotten the best that you can get, um, or that fits your convenience. For example, I work for Amazon. I have a degree I got a college degree, but I don't want to use it because it's going to be inconvenient in some ways. Where I decided to work as an Amazon driver because I like the flexibility and I like learning. So I listen to audio while driving, and that's why I did it. It's like I could basically learn nonstop while driving and jotting down ideas and stuff like that. I think to me that's more valuable than getting a higher paying job, and then something like Amazon where I don't get paid that much, but I have time in my hands at work listening to audio and learning. So you understand that. What's your purpose at the end of the day? Um, so if your means is money, then you can go straight for money and get a job in real estate. You can get a job in sales, job in accounting. Um, so many things can make you more money than any other normal job out there. If that's your end goal. Of course, you gotta consider um, how good are you? Are you suitable for that job? Yes, so you make sure you put in the work to study and get the credentials to get that job. If you go to college, you're gonna end up finding out pretty quickly that you're still not gonna know what you want to do. So I personally, my opinion, I think is college is not a good idea. If it's a general education, you're like, I'll figure it out as I go. It's probably not the best idea. Figure out soon what you want. Is it money? Is it you already know what you like to do and you want to do that regardless of how much you get paid? So know that very quickly. People tell you take your time. You find that I think that's complete BS. People should know what they want right away by exploring. Because as little kids, you don't know what you want because in school you did the same thing over and over, and you were not exposed to many things that would have allowed you to know what you want as an adult. Everybody was doing the same thing. Everybody was like a robot in high school and middle school and elementary, doing the same things over and over, and you were never given a chance to explore. That's why the school system is broken. That's why the school system doesn't produce people that are self-taught, that are self-thinkers, that can think for themselves. Everybody thinks the same right now. Everybody thinks the same. Everybody is taught what to think, not how to think. And so that's how messed up our society is, where people are so dependent on the government, they're so dependent on employees, they feel entitled to stuff. It's ridiculous because that doesn't show that they're growing. Mentally, they're like a little kid, they still depend on somebody else. As a kid, you depend on your parents. If your parents didn't teach you how to depend on yourself and how to make things happen for yourself, then you, as an adult, you're going to see your employer as your parent, you're the government as your parent. So you have to avoid that kind of mentality by reading books and unlearning the things that you were taught in school by other robots. Teachers are robots. They teach you how to be a robot, and they don't know themselves, so it's not their fault. They are taught to produce society's robots. Again, it's not their fault. It's just something that has been so ingrained in our society, and it seems so natural, so um, normal. And so we gotta unnormalize that and start thinking for ourselves. So once you get out of high school, college, or whatever, and you want to be different, you gotta unlearn all that stuff. It's a very uncomfortable process, but it's rewarding because now you can think for yourself and think about the possibilities. A lot of people know this, but they just like, that's life, and they go on continuing to be very routine. Um, so I don't mean to bash on everybody that's doing a job. I do a job right now. I'm trying to get out of it eventually, but we'll see what happens. I'm not the perfect person to be talking about the subject because there's a lot of things I got to fix about myself for sure. And so the point of this video is for you to know early on what you want to do. And if you get a job that doesn't pay well, don't complain. Instead, figure out a way to get out of it. If you're young, it is easier. If you're older and have kids, it's very difficult, almost impossible. And to make it easier for yourself and you have kids and all that stuff, you have to sacrifice luxuries. You can't be driving new cars. You can't be having a nice house. You can't, because it's just going to put a lot of stress on your health, having to work all that just, to put food on the table, to put a roof, and all this kind of stuff. And you have to, you got to look at your budget and be like, I just can't make these payments and so on. So, um, but if you're young, try to know right away. Uh, don't take it so lightly. Um, and do know that yes, some things are very unjust. Our monetary system is unjust. How we are taxed is unjust. How we, the tax money, sure, some of it goes to street, like maybe like 5 or less percent. I think the last time I saw it was very little compared to how much they receive. And we're running a deficit this year, 2020, the worst year probably that I've ever lived. It is the worst year that I've ever lived because, well, technically, it is. I'm always better every year, but for the world, it's the worst year for me. I just gotta focus on myself. I can't be focused on what's going around me. I gotta focus on what I can change because if you were to ask me, like Jim Rohn says, how is the next 10 years gonna be? It's gonna be pretty much the same it's always been. It's always gonna be day. There's always gonna be nights. There's always gonna be a summer, a spring, a winter, and it's up to you to make those changes. Change life changes in your realm. Whatever happens around you shouldn't be an influence on you. So I'm trying to ignore all this stuff that's going on around the world and just focus on myself. So for the world, I guess it's the worst year. It's hard not to think about it, but for me, it's a better year. There's been worse years for me, personally wise, like where my life, I didn't really feel like um, living or existing and stuff like that. It was a dark place when I was young. Now it's different. I've developed and I've learned, and I look forward to next year and tomorrow and today and the present. And so yeah, there's corrupt stuff out there. Try to you can either complain about it and think about it and waste your time on it and energy, or you can work on yourself and make the change on yourself so that the world pretty much has less of an influence on you. Because there's many things that are corrupt that you can take advantage of that corruption, meaning you're not corrupt, but you'll take advantage of the fact that they're corrupt. For instance, real estate is a great way to hack the money system, where you will basically do what the government does, is print money and essentially fraudulently cause inflation, because they're very much in debt. They are pretty much at the brink of bankruptcy, but they need to constantly borrow money to stay afloat. They will not tax more than they already are, which is a lot, because it's already going to be a further strain. We know that we're getting taxed a lot, but the best thing you can do is get out of a job and be self-employed, and then you have firsthand experience with your own tax money. What could have been gone to the government, now you stick with it and use it first before they get a piece of it. And so that's how you reduce your tax bracket. You can start a company and corporation gets taxed. So take that advantage and learn all that stuff and process and how you can take advantage of that. Again, real estate, you can be a real estate company, grow up to that eventually. And as an investor, you get to take a lot of tax benefits. You could borrow a ton of debt. You could actually have more debt than, I wouldn't say more debt than income, but like as long as your income is greater than the interest paid on the debt, you're making a profit like on just marginally over the interest rate that they charge, you're pretty much making money. And I'm not a professional, but some people, it seems like they're doing it tax free. And that's all I have for today before I get to a longer rant. And I want to see you all in the next video. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Bye bye.